Good morning, friends. This is Chris from Worthington Home. Eric and I are out bright and early in the morning. We have lots of stops to make today. There is some good thrifting headed our way. Stay tuned for it. We've just arrived at an estate sale in New Britain, Connecticut, so this wasn't too far from us. It was about a 15-minute or so car ride. I'm in the kitchen right now. There's some old linens, but these are not in great shape. So I'm going to leave these behind. And I want to check out all of the different things in this kitchen. Welcome, friends. That's very cute. There's some silver plate on that island and some china here on the dining room table. I'm just wondering if this is anything I want to pick up. Probably not. It's a little bit of Crooksville, made in the USA. And this is a bit of Syracuse china. Here's lots and lots of holiday stuff. It is a little bit daunting to go through this, if I'm honest. Here's a collection of child's horses that I should have looked at more carefully. When I went back to check them the second time, they were gone. I know those can be collectibles, so that was probably a missed opportunity. I'm headed down to the basement now. It's a little musty down here, but that's okay. A little must never got in my way. Just taking a little peek here. There's some teapots. Just want to check the maker mark. Just made in China, nothing special. Let's go through. Lots of stuff in here. Okay, now I'm headed back up the stairs. I spend my life going up and down stairs, it seems. Right now, we're driving on the Merritt Parkway, named after U.S. Congressman Schuyler Merritt, which is a 17-and-a-half scenic parkway that connects southern Connecticut to New York. It was built during the Great Depression between 1934 and 1940. New Deal relief agencies, specifically the Works Progress Administration, hired 2,000 construction workers in need of jobs for the project and funded the bridge architect as well. More on him in a moment. The reason why the parkway was built was to help absorb some of the traffic congestion on the Boston Post Road in Fairfield County. In fact, I read that for a time it was actually called the Parallel Post Road. Many residents in the affected areas were opposed to the Parkway project because they were concerned it would alter their beautiful towns. To avoid this, planners ensured that the road would be a parkway, not a highway, and that no commercial vehicles would be allowed through. That's still true today. From the start, it was a priority of all involved to make the parkway beautiful. 22,000 native trees and 40,000 native shrubs were brought in, and existing trees were protected to the extent possible during roadside development. Because the highway has divided lanes, it was even possible to plant trees between lanes in places, an effect that's especially attractive. I read that when it was first built, it was common for people to picnic alongside the parkway because it was so picturesque. Bear in mind, of course, there would have been fewer cars back then, and the speed limit of the parkway is much lower than the average highway, so I guess you can see the sense in it. The parkway's 69 bridges were designed by George Dunkelberger and feature a variety of architectural designs, including Art Deco, Art Moderne, French Renaissance, Gothic, Neoclassic, and Rustic. And while some of the bridges have been lost to time, the Merritt Parkway is listed on the National Register of Historic Places, one of only a few highways listed. It's also designated as a state scenic road and a national scenic byway. I've tried to highlight a few of the bridges in this video clip so you could take a peek, and I'll add a link to an interesting article in my video description in case you want to read more for yourself. We have just a quick stop in New Canaan to pick something up, and then we're going to hit the road again. And now we're on our way to an estate sale in Westport, Connecticut. Well, there is a lot of stuff at this estate sale, which surprises me because it's day 2, but it looks like there's a lot here. Let's go inside and see what they have in the house. Oh boy, it's a lot. I can already tell, and there are quite a few people here. So I'm going to have to do my best to get through it all. Here's the kitchen. It's a bit of a jumble. That happens during an estate sale, especially when it's been going on for 2 days. A little bit of Delft there. I'm heading up the stairs to see what's going on in what I think was the living room. It's hard to tell. This settee is $1,400. There's a little piano back there. Interesting chair. There's a fireplace hidden back there. We've got a fair little bit of china, a lot of holiday decor. I'm not really looking to pick up a lot of that, so I'm just going to give that a brief look over. There's some china in this china cabinet. They want $325 for it, which is more than it's worth in my experience. There's some books here, as you can see. Very old carpeting and some artwork. Quite a bit of artwork. And I'm going to go right around this corner in a minute. $135 for that mirror seems like a lot. There's a bed frame. Oh my gosh. This house just keeps going and going. I keep stumbling into different rooms and I'm almost like losing track of where I am. But as you can see, there's a fair bit of vintage furniture here and some textiles that are generally not in great shape, I'm finding. And there's some children's toys. The toys are all in bad shape from what I could see. I imagine the best ones got snapped up yesterday. There's a pretty lamp. They want $125 for it. Good luck with that. And that old rocker is $475. Oh my gosh. Now I'm in a little 3-season porch area. As you can see, there's some china and other bits and pieces. So I just want to see what we have. There's a little baker's rack in green. I like the green color on that. They wanted $125 for it. And now we're headed in the basement. Eric has already been through the basement. This is my first time going through it. It's really tight down here, but you never know what you might find in a basement, so it's important not to blow it off. At least that's been true in my experience. These are interesting little like wicker paper plate holders, but I'm not sure there's a great market for these. So I'm just making my way to the very back to see if there's any little hidden gems. That basket was cute, but it was damaged, so I left it. All right, that was a lot of fun. I think we're gonna make our way to our next stop, which is Cheshire. By the way, here is the state of the back of my car. We didn't pack this too well because you can see a lampshade is getting squished. That is very bad.
So I have to tell you, I had the most fabulous weekend. It was unexpectedly fun from start to finish. So Friday, we ended up seeing the movie Wicked. And if you haven't seen it, I absolutely recommend it. I was a little bit nervous about watching it, to tell you the truth, because I love the musical so much. I am a hardcore musical person and I love the original soundtrack, and I thought, no one can possibly do the job that the original cast did. And so, I don't know, I was almost not gonna see the movie, but I kept checking out the previews and I kept watching little clips about it on YouTube. So I decided I was gonna go. As a courtesy, really, I asked Eric if he wanted to come with me, completely expecting he was gonna say no. And he said yes. So on Friday night, we went to the movies. I got a box of popcorn the size of my head, always the best kind. And we both actually totally loved it. So if you're looking for something fun to watch, you could do no better than to go see Wicked. And this is from a girl who would describe herself as a skeptic. So that was Friday. Then on Saturday, I actually had to pick up a bunch of things that I had won on online auctions. If you're a regular viewer of this channel, you may know that I sometimes actually do online auctions and estate sales. But sometimes I will actually buy things in the same way. I use Auction Ninja primarily. And this was the first time ever that I decided to buy things for the purpose of reselling them. I have never done that. And I would have to say that's because I'm looking for more creative ways to find interesting things to resell now that it's winter, or it's really close to winter, and flea markets are gone and tag sales are gone, and a lot of my usual markets are not available to me. Certainly I can go to thrift stores, but their prices are going higher and higher. It's hard to find good stuff there. So I thought I would try this. My feeling is I probably overpaid, or, there were no massive deals, very few massive deals to be had for the purposes of reselling. I think if you're buying for yourself, you can do no better than to use any of the Auction Ninja sites. For reselling, I don't know, we'll see. The jury is definitely out on that. But I had a bunch of things I had to pick up. I had to go to 2 places on Saturday and 2 places on Sunday. Indy is looking at me with little heart-shaped pupils right now. He's so cute. And Eric decided to come with me. And it was really interesting because right before we were going to go to pick up one group of items from the online estate sale, we found there was an estate sale in New Britain, Connecticut, which is very close to us. So we figured no harm in dropping by. I am so glad we did. So we did not know this in advance, but it turned out that the estate sale was a foreclosed house that had a lot of stuff still in it. And the person who had purchased it as a foreclosure, and I guess plans to sell it or flip it or whatever, just needed to get rid of the contents of the house. And so his employee was doing that with his wife. They were really nice. And there was no emotional attachment to anything. There were no high prices anywhere. They were ready to bargain and deal. They wanted everything gone. And so it made for a really fun experience. And I picked up a lot of stuff. So I have to figure out what to show you first and what to do with my romantic cat, because he's not going to like it when I show you. So you're going to have to get down. I'm sorry. Here he goes. Oh, he's mad. Okay. I'm going to start with this piece because I think it's really interesting. You can see it's this sort of pinky peachy glass. It's very large. I'm going to hold it up this way so you can see it better. And it has a flower frog insert. So can you imagine the amazing flower arrangements you can make in this? The insert comes off, so you can take that out. And the inside is nice and big, and it's also deep. Now, the only downside to this is there is a little chip. Where is it? It's right here. So it's not in perfect condition, but I think it's in excellent condition overall. And this is a flower arranger's dream. If I didn't have cats that like to eat flowers, I would absolutely keep this and I would make amazing things in this. So hoping someone's excited to find it on my eBay store. In the same color tone, I picked up this little open sugar and creamer. They could use a good wash. I loved the colors. Based on my online research, these aren't worth $1 million, but they do have a good sell-through rate on eBay, and I'm hoping someone will snag them. And then last but not least, in that sort of colorway, is this pretty covered dish. I guess this is a butter dish, I would think. It has a lovely pattern. I think this was made by Jeanette. I think this is holly leaves, something like that. Or poinsettias, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, I'll do my research and I will get this online as soon as I have a chance. And then I picked up these beauties. I love these candlesticks. They look like silver plate. I loved the color, sort of purpley tone. They could also use a wash. Everything here really needs a good wash. The house was not clean. This was made in India. They're a nice size. They're nice and tall. So I will be selling those. And I loved these. I try not to buy clear glass. It's not a good seller. However, I love the shape of these candlesticks because they're Jack in the pulpit, I think is what you call them. and I thought the shape was fabulous. So again, needs a massive wash, but I think these will be great, and those will be going on my eBay store as well, along with this pretty silver-plated bell trivet. Kind of nice for the holidays, actually, don't you think? This has a back stamp that I can't really read, but you won't be able to see that probably either. I know back stamps don't show up so well on camera, but anyway, I thought that was pretty, so I will be selling that. Eric found this great cookbook that we just thought was so fun. Betty Crocker's all-time favorites. Ooh, that was my computer, sorry. I mean, you know, if it's Betty Crocker's favorites, I mean, she knows what she's talking about. It's gotta be good, right? Oh, it's always something. So I thought I would check this out. I also thought, weirdly, I mean, talk about your brain going in odd places. This would be so fun for 4th of July decorating, wouldn't it? So I might actually keep that cookbook. I love old cookbooks, even though I don't love to cook. It's one of the many interesting and contradictory things about me. What can I tell you? I bought a big collection of Lenox in the Charleston pattern. Now I have some things that are from that pattern on my eBay store that have been there for a while and haven't sold. But I thought because these weren't sort of run-of-the-mill dishes and teacups and those sorts of things, maybe they would appeal to a wider market. And again, the prices on all these things, I will tell you, I think I ended up spending $70 for everything. So that gives you some sense. Once you see the whole haul, it will give you a sense of what things kind of cost-ish. So anyway, 2 lovely porcelain candlesticks. I think these are really pretty. The pattern is very elegant. Again, that's the Charleston pattern. Here is the back stamp. So that is Lenox Charleston, made in the USA. There was this very pretty tidbit tray in the same pattern. So that is really lovely. I used to stay away from buying these because I thought they would be hard to ship until I realized, hello, the hardware comes off. You'd think I would have figured that out before now, but I got there eventually. That's the main thing. And then this beautiful Lenox vase. It's in really nice shape. Again, all pieces from the same pattern. So I picked them up. And I think now we need to go to the table. I bought this beautiful set of demi-tasse cups and saucers and like the silver plate holders, and they come with the spoons. So the little cups come off, and I believe this says Monopoly. Don't know anything about this brand. I haven't done much research. And then here's the little holder that is silver plate. So this is the holder separate. That would look beautiful. All shined up, or as is, if you prefer the tarnished look. There is the saucer. I haven't washed any of this yet. No back stamp on that. And then this cute little spoon comes with it, which is really sweet. And that has a mark of some kind on it, but I don't know what it is right now. So anyway, nice big collection. This guy is missing his cup. I'm going to assume that just got broken at some point, but almost 12 of these, which I think is really amazing. And so my intention is to list these on eBay after I give them a good wash. I'm not going to polish them. I will let whoever ultimately purchases them make the decision about whether they want to shine them up or whether they want to leave them as they are. Either way works for me, but I thought they were so beautiful. And then in the same cabinet, I picked up this really pretty set, this pitcher with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 glasses. This looks very mid-century modern to me with the frosted bottom and the gold stripes. It's got a nice look to it, I think. No back stamp, at least nothing that I'm seeing off the top of my head, but I did find examples of this on eBay. So I think this will sell nicely, fingers crossed. I also bought this really pretty needlepoint picture. I don't know, is this needlepoint? This is some kind of
handmade piece. I'm not sure the exact technique used to make this, but this is so nice and big. It's incredibly cheerful. It's well done. I'm sure this is mid-century. Has some discoloration to the background, nothing dreadful. It's hard to get around that with some of these old pieces. It's in this nice big chunky frame. The glass is in nice condition. So I picked this up as well. This will be going to my booth space. Again, if you're interested in buying it from me directly, let me know. Here is the background. Oh, actually, this was not made mid-century. This was made in 1985. So that tricked me, because it certainly has a 1960s look about it. Either way, I think this is a cheerful piece and great for anybody who loves this kind of hand-worked needlepoint or whatever it is. Lovely. So again, either let me know and you can buy it directly, or this will be going in my booth space.
Such a successful and unexpected estate sale. Who knew that would happen? And I think it was also day 2. So yeah, great stop. The only downside was that we then had to really hustle to New Canaan to pick up my stuff from the auction. And New Canaan was a good hour and 15 minutes away from where we were. So we were just really praying that we were not going to hit traffic, because if you don't pick up your things on time at an estate sale, I'm rolling up my sleeves right now in case you're wondering what I'm doing. If you don't pick up your things on time at an estate sale, they're forfeited without refund. So we really did not want to fool around and really shouldn't have, been so casual about the time. That was my fault more than Eric. He always wants to get started at the crack of dawn and I always want to sleep in. So what are you going to do? But we got there in time and we picked up some nice things. I am going to show you all of these things where they are currently, because I think that's the safest.
I bought this big metal baker's rack. I ended up getting this for very little money, and it's very similar to the one that I currently have in my booth space, except the one in my booth space is painted white, and this is just the plain metal. Actually, I think this one might even be a little bit bigger. I'm not sure, but I figured if I picked up this one, then I could sell the one that's in my booth space instead of having it not for sale. And I know when things are in a booth and not for sale, it can be annoying. So maybe I can be a little less annoying by having this as a backup in case that one sells. I would paint it. I think it's nicer painted. I don't know. What do you think? Do you like it plain, or do you think painted is better? I usually am not inclined to paint things that are not already painted, but I do think a little paint would spruce this guy up. Anyway, I plan to just kind of hold on to this until I'm in need of it, unless, and this is the last time I'm going to say it because I am in danger of being very annoying. I can feel it coming. If you are interested in this piece and can pick it up, just send me an email. My email is in the profile section of my YouTube channel, so you should be able to find it without too much difficulty, I hope. I bought this big, beautiful mirror. This guy weighs a ton, but it's so pretty. I love the black with the bronze effect. This feels like wood. It's wood-like. It's got some nice age and patina on it. Really pretty details. Excuse my legs in the background there. Yeah, I thought this was absolutely gorgeous. This will be going to my booth space. I think this will look very elegant when it's all displayed in the ways that it should in order to really set it to its best advantage. And hopefully someone will have just the right spot for this in their home. Goodness knows if I did, I would keep it. I picked up these Capodimonte figures, at least that's how they were described to me. They are bigger than I expected them to be, and they have lovely details. Look at her pretty face and the feathers in her hat. It looks like the flower she's holding, I don't know, it looks like it maybe has a tiny little chip. Doesn't detract from the beauty. Her skirt is beautiful. There is the background, the back stamp. I think this is absolutely lovely. And then here is her companion. I have them up here obviously because the cats definitely can't get up here.
But here he is. These should wash up and shine even more than they are now. Look at the cutouts in his jacket. He's got the flower at his feet. Pillar behind him. I mean, every square inch of this has draping and color. Lots of beautiful details. Again, there is the back stamp. If I can figure out what that says, I will put it in the description box below. But I thought these were fabulous. I would love to keep them, but I am sadly going to sell them against my will. So I think I will pop these on eBay. I think that's my plan. And then I picked up these adorable parakeets, and I am keeping these. I just love these so much, and I had parakeets as a child, and I had blue parakeets as a child. So I thought these were gorgeous. Oh my goodness, I love the colors, and look, the feathers are so detailed. The perch is lovely with the flowers. Here is the back stamp. So this was made in England. I think this is Royal Worcester, if I'm not mistaken. So adorable. And here is the friend in more detail. I love these. Yeah, these I am for sure keeping. I know I shouldn't, but I'm gonna. And then I bought this mirror, which ended up being a sad friend. Look at that damage. So it wasn't like this when I picked it up. It was in perfect condition. And Eric and I put it in the back of my RAV4, and there were other things back there as well. And I think with all of the jostling and this mirror trying to support its own weight, it just fell apart. And it didn't even break into big chunks. It broke into lots of small chunks. I'll show you the pile in a second so you see what I mean. So this sadly did not make it. That is a real bummer because I think this is a pretty mirror. I think it's a nice size. I think it would have been beautiful in somebody's home. Next time I pick up a piece like this, I'll be sure to lay it flat. Although in fairness, we ended up with so much stuff in our car, there was really no way to even do that. So very unfortunate, very disappointing, but I guess if you deal in breakables, every now and then something's gonna break. Am I right? Here's the pile. So, well, I guess, yeah, maybe it could be glued. I don't know. That's pretty shot. And even if it was, I think I'd be afraid to sell it unless I put, really a very clear disclaimer explaining that it's fragile. I guess I could do that. I don't know. I'll talk to Eric a little bit more about it when he gets home. But a bummer. What are you gonna do? So after we picked up all our stuff that I just showed you from New Canaan, we decided to head over to day 2 of an estate sale in Westport because it was kind of heading back in the general direction of our house. This house was interesting. There was a tremendous amount of stuff. Every square inch was covered, it seemed. And it was day 2, and of course, you know my theory. Prices were crazy high, and I think things didn't sell on day 1 very well at all. So day 2, they were bargaining in a much different way. They were really fair. Everything I purchased was for a good price. I can't remember what I ended up spending, to tell you the truth, but I can tell you they were awesome deals, and I was very happy with what I paid for everything. So I'll start with these 2 pretty plates. I'll hold up just one of them. These are called Spode's Jewel Copeland. So these were made in England. They're salad plate size. I loved the little detail in the middle, the picture. Isn't that so sweet with the little house and the animals? And I also loved how the plate looked like lace. I thought that was beautiful. Here is the back stamp. And I will tell you, full disclosure, the second one has a crack in the back. So I would only use these for decor and display. Personally, I wouldn't use them to serve things on. I think they're a little on the fragile side. Plus, there's so many grooves in these. I think they would be unpleasant to clean. So I picked these up. I thought they were so sweet. Old Spode is one of my favorites, and I will be selling those on my eBay store. Then I found this great box, It has Norwegian rose mailing on it. It's got great colors and patterns, as you can see. And of course the top flips open. Oh, look, it even has a detail on the lid. And a signature. So this was made by Marion Harold or something in 1984. Here's the inside, nice and deep, so that could be good storage for somebody. A beautiful piece. And I don't think I'll put this on eBay because I don't know that Eric will want to ship this. So I'll have to talk to him about it a little bit more and see what he thinks. If it doesn't work for eBay, it will go into my booth space. My plan is to put this in my booth space. It is this painting on the back of a wooden board. And it has such a great old-fashioned look, doesn't it? This is such a great folk art piece. Look at the details in the rug on this and in the woman's apron and even the picture over the table. It's so interesting. I thought that was great. It has just this little bit of metal so you can hang it. I don't know. I thought this was a charmer, and so it came home with me. I found this crock that I thought had an interesting look. So that says Grand Medal for Marmalade, James Carberry, trademark, London. So I don't know if this is actually old or if this is a reproduction. I couldn't say for sure. Here is the bottom. Oh, this says USA on the bottom. So I'm thinking, does that mean it's a reproduction? I don't know, but I thought it was really, really fun. And so I grabbed it. It's a nice big size. That would be a great display piece and could also be a useful piece in somebody's home. This I love. I'm saving the best for last, but I do love this. So I bought this great wall art. I'm gonna stand up here. I'll have better control, I think. And you can see it's this old cottage with the stairs leading up to it. And it looks like a thatched roof. So it has a great old English look. It's framed and matted. There's a signature here in the corner. I thought it was so charming. I loved this. And so I picked this up for the booth space. I thought it was a really good find. And then my last thing I bought at this estate sale is my favorite. I'll be honest, when I first saw this, I loved it. And then I was like, is it good though? Is it good for resale? So I brought Eric over and he agreed. He said I should absolutely buy it. And then later I found out that it was for sure made by a Connecticut artist. The owner gave me her name. I will put it in the description box below. So this is hand done. It's these 3 kittens in a basket. And they're so cute. They're all eyes and just the way the kittens are. There wasn't an artist signature on the piece that I could see unless it's under the mat. But as I said, the owner authenticated it for me and explained that this was handmade. It looks like, I don't know, are these made with pastels, with chalk? I'm not really sure. I'm not an artist. But he did verify that this was handmade and the artist herself gave it to him at one point. So this is so cute and this will be going in my booth space. So after we finished up in Westport, we headed to Cheshire. Oh my gosh, were we just all over the place or what? And I had won just 2 things in an online auction that I needed to pick up, including these 2 beautiful Johnson Brothers Friendly Village bowls. These are exactly the same, so I'll just show you one up close. So you can see it has the beautiful, looks like a blooming dogwood tree or similar, and the old buildings, all the beautiful elements that we have come to expect from Johnson Brothers. This is so, so pretty. Here is the back stamp. So I will be selling these on my eBay store. And oh my gosh, this next thing is beyond. And I want to keep it, but I won't because I have to let it go. It is this Fisher-Price 3 men in a tub little toy, which I had when I was a child, and this even has the bell. Sometimes I have seen them without the bell, or the bell is so damaged they're no good anymore to me. So here, one is a butcher, one is a baker. I'm gonna say this is maybe the butcher, maybe this is the baker, and this is the candlestick maker. I'm not sure. How does that rhyme go? I'm gonna have to look it up and put it down here, but they are just so cute. This brought me right back. These sell pretty well on eBay, it seems, so hopefully it will do the same for me, but oh, it's so cute. I love this.
I looked up the nursery rhyme, and here it is. Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub, and who do you think they be? The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, all put out to sea. I feel so much better now that I know the words. That was going to drive me crazy.
On Sunday, I had planned to pick up my online auction finds in Canton, Connecticut, and it turned out that I actually had won something in another auction and I hadn't even realized it. So I had to do a little running around to make sure I could pick up everything on time. It was a little stressful and a little crunched, especially because I hadn't realized I had won that other auction. I don't know why that didn't register for me. So in Canton, I picked up just one lot of items. And they're very pretty. I am glad that I got them. It includes this beautiful Ainsley plate. This is Pembroke. This is a reproduction of a much older design from the 18th century. Here's the back stamp. This is a pattern that I absolutely love. So I got the plate, this little vase. Oh, and look, this has the original sticker on it. Right there, this is a nice little guy. This heart-shaped dish came with it, with the butterfly, I love that. There's the back stamp there. And then it came with 2 knives. One is very sharp and the other one is a little less so, but you can see they have the same pattern on the handles, which is really pretty. So look at the bird. So I grabbed those and I have to figure out how I'm gonna best sell those, because I could keep it as one lot, I guess. But I don't know if that makes the most sense. I have to think about that. I'm definitely selling it. I just have to think about the best way to do that. And then I went over to Simsbury and I picked up some other nice things. So where do I start? So I guess I'll start here. These are 2 really beautiful Norwegian rose mailing prints that have been framed and matted, as you can see. They are so pretty. I'm gonna give you a closer look. So this one's really neat. I love the colors. It's got the dude with the horse inside. I'm sure he shouldn't be called a dude with a horse, but that's what I'm calling him. And it's nice because you can see the original manufacturer of this in the back. So the woman who I bought this from said these had been her grandparents and they bought this in Norway. They were Norwegian. So these are from Norway. My grandfather was also born in Norway. So there's a little connection there, but I thought these were so charming. So I was very happy to find those. Then I picked up 3 pieces. So this was all one lot. This is Wedgwood. So got this Wedgwood Blue Heritage pattern. So this is very much like a blue onion kind of pattern in a nice big platter. It's really pretty. There's a single candlestick that goes with it that needs a good wash. And then this little sweet creamer. Or is this a gravy? I'm not sure, maybe this is a gravy. I don't think a creamer would have such a wide open top. I don't know. And here's another shot at the back stamp. So I thought that was very pretty. Okay, I paid up for this next thing. I don't know if I paid too much. I really checked my comps, my comparable prices of sold items that were exactly like this on eBay. And based on that research, I should be able to slightly more than double my money, I hope. This is really a beauty. So it is this gorgeous chicken. It's a covered dish. It's in wonderful condition. It has this great iridescence and like a carnival glass effect. I think it's really very beautiful. I mean, these did have a very good sell-through rate. So I'm hoping it does the same for me. You know, it's hard with an auction because you're watching and you want to buy things and the numbers just keep creeping up, and it's hard for me to walk away from an auction because I am a rather competitive person, and when I want something, I want it. In this case, I tried really hard to apply the brakes when I felt I needed to financially because, again, this wasn't stuff I was keeping for myself. That would be different math. This was stuff for resale. So this next group, don't mind my disgusting tablecloth. I am going to wash it right after this. This next group were actually 2 lots of Victorian advertising trade cards. This one is politically incorrect, which I have never picked up before. This is a first for me. I thought they were really interesting. They comped well on eBay, where I do plan to sell them. So I decided to give them a shot and, as I said, try something a little bit different. So I hope that works out for me because, yeah, I have quite a few. I'm not going to take these out of their plastic right now, but as you can see, there's all kinds of different ones. And they have interesting backs as well. So here's an example of a back. So this was advertising spool cotton, I guess. Ask for it, buy it, try it. This one is Sharpless and Sons in Philadelphia. Dry goods. It's so interesting, isn't it? And this one, this person needs to they need to take better care of their children, I think. Dry goo. Ooh, how delightful. These are interesting because these are seeds. So these are seed cards. So I think these might be actually slightly more valuable. But don't hold me to it because I have a lot of research to do ahead of myself here. Oh my gosh, isn't that interesting? So we'll see what happens, but I am gonna put these on my eBay store. So wish me luck. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this thrifting video and all of the other bits and pieces that were included as part of it. I hope you're having a wonderful day, whatever you're doing. Please take a minute and like this video if you liked it and subscribe if you haven't already. And I really hope to see you next time. Bye for now.